Nice to see you all. We're waiting for Momo to join us. Where are you from? Hi, Claudia. Hi, everyone. We still have 4 minutes officially, so we're tuning in.
Sorry, I caught a little announcement, and then before I could click it, it was gone.
Yeah. We need
Just inviting me to go live, but then it's gone. So.
I'm inviting Momo again, sending. Hi, Lisa, Laurie. Wow, so many of you, 22. I like this number. Hi. Hi, Momo. Momo joined. We need to see you. Okay, now. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Momo. Yay!
Yay, we did it. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I cannot hear you though.
Oh dear. Okay. Let's see. Oh, just
wait
a
a
second. I'm unmuted. You can't hear me? Can you hear me? I can
Okay,
hear
now.
you.
Okay. I had my headphones plugged in, so I'm not sure everyone could hear me, but hi, everyone. Nice to see you all,
We
20
could hear.
people. That's great.
How
Finally.
exciting. You can hear me though? Good.
Yeah, now I can hear you. And you? Am I good with the sound?
Perfect. Yeah, you sound
Amazing.
great.
Amazing.
Well, here we are. We're going to do some live pearl readings and celebrate the pearl, which is an amazing part of the Gene Keys that is one of the sequences of your golden paths. And Katrina, do you want to introduce the pearl to us? It's so good to see you.
Introduce the pearl. Sounds great. I will speak my words today from my individuality as our guest, celebrity as well. Yeah, the pearl. We invite you to make your Gene Key profile on the Gene Keys free profile website if it opens, if it works. But I guess most of you have your Gene Keys profile, so you can see this beautiful spheres and the pathways in 3 colors, green, red, and blue. And pearl is the 3rd sequence, a triangle that forms a triangle with the pearl in the middle. And yeah, pearl grows out like a fruit from the tree of the 2 previous sequences. The Venus sequence, which is all about relationship and opening your heart, and it finds its core stability and stabilizes in the sphere of purpose, which ends the activation sequence, the green one. So it's like finding your genius and core stability in the body with the activation sequence, then diving into this tantric path of the Venus sequence, healing the relationship and opening your heart. And this beautiful vacation sphere, which is your core wound as well, it's kind of a double sphere. It opens up the pearl, which starts to bloom out of your open heart. And pearl is about prosperity and yeah, finding your prosperity out of your open heart, basically. So it's about material, but the material takes its roots deeper in the relationship and takes its roots deeper into your own body and form and your own genius. So this is a beautiful kind of golden path, tree of life, of the golden path, with the fruit as a pearl. And yeah,
Wow,
I'm excited about it. Would you like to speak about prosperity, Momo?
I love the image of that tree of life, because I feel it so much in my body, like where I feel this grounding and the stability that happens through understanding those prime gifts of the activation sequence. It's like your foundation, and you really feel it in your like feet and legs and pelvis. And then this awakening of the heart and the hands, this like relational activity between us and through us, that is the Venus. And it can be very tender and harsh, you know, sometimes, to go into those wounds of our childhood and even earlier in our ancestry. And then this finally coming out into this space of the pearl, which is like this wide open mind of balance, and the active like balancing of how those inner and outer activities of our inner contemplation and our outer doing can come into a harmony. And that is very much like the way we breathe, you know, that we have to have that equilibrium of listening and looking within, and then, you know, looking without and seeing what is reflected in the world, and then back again and in and out. And then it becomes one whole, and that's really exciting. The other thing that I love about the pearl is just what a pearl is. I mean, a pearl is something that grows inside of an oyster after years and years of flow and irritation. You know, like you've got like all this buildup in there over and over of things flowing through and irritating, and then out comes this, out of that soft inner gooey part that's like protected by the outer, you know, comes this beautiful pearl, like a jewel. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yes. And actually, I wanted to, to introduce, we forgot, we introduced the pearl, but we can introduce ourselves. So we're today with Momo, who is in Vancouver now, who is an ambassador
Libya.
And a beautiful dancer. That's actually what put us together, because we're both dancing, we're both into the somatic work, and it's just a joy to tune in from Canada. And actually, I'm now in St. Petersburg in Russia. So, and it's evening for me now. It's raining, autumn and evening in St. Petersburg. How is it for you, Momo?
Here it is also cool, but it's unusually clear. Like we always, in this part of the country, the Salish Sea, the Pacific Northwest, always have rain at this time and kind of cold, dark weather that's coming in. We really feel that the honoring of the dead, the transition of things starting to fall and drop and melt away. And yeah, it was, you know, I work with this process called dance waves, where we really pay attention to nature and the way that the gene keys transmission moves through the body. And so that was what inspired me to work with you, Katrini, because you have such a beautiful way of, you know, photography and interaction with the landscape and with your body. And we share this love of you know, I don't know what it is, conscious dance or dance that is connected with others and nature and contact dance. Yeah. So I think our what do I want to say? Our introduction is almost coming to a close. So now that we have a wonderful group of people gathered, hello, Berta Luz is here, Yogini, Margot, welcome Margot, we love you. We're so happy you're here from Boulder. And let's see, Berta Luz might be in Boulder too, we'll see. But anyway, welcome everyone. We'll just give you a moment to settle into your location wherever you are. And we're going to have you, if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. If you don't, you can leave them open and just let them gently gaze and soften. And I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes. And I'm also going to place my hands, the palms of my sacred hands, right on my belly, right on my lower belly. And I'm going to feel that culture that's happening in there with all the biome that's alive and moving, all those amazing beings that digest and ingest and nourish us in our bellies, and that fire and energy that's there. And then just feel the sensation of the breath. Taking a few breaths together. Oh, yeah. Taking a few breaths together into that deep belly. And then feeling your feet and your pelvis just supported, grounded on the ground, on the earth, and growing out of that connection with the earth, feeling your spine, and feeling how with each breath, the spine gently shifts and adjusts itself just slightly to the breath and to the gravity that we're in, connecting us from below, deep within the earth and above. Yeah, nice. And then as you feel that breath and that spine, we remember that the spine represents the vocation. The spine represents what we stand for. What is our core axis? The place where that wound becomes our passion, that wound becomes our action in the world. Beautiful. And then if you have the capacity at the moment to just allow a gentle sigh. Because the voice is so key to the pearl. The voice is where we start to allow, we do allow that sun that we are, that gift that we are, that pearl that we are to shine forth in and through our brand or our outer life, our outer work. So even if you're in your own space, if you have a moment, just allowing yourself to maybe make a few sounds, a tone. Or oh, it could be like something sweet, or it could be something like whatever's there. Just let whatever's there be there and let it out from your belly, from your spine, from your breath. And all of those 4 parts of the body are harmonized in the pearl. The belly, the spine, the breath, and the voice. So I love what Jeannie's doing right now, just gently weeping and touching our skin and coming back to this, into this moment. In, feeling our hands and feet. Beautiful. Welcome. Welcome, Viv and Reveal Me and Sage. All of our friends are arriving.
Yes, 35.
35 friends. Yay. Welcome. Stay through, and we're actually, you can start to chat if you want. You can start to chat any questions that you have. We'll be attending to those later. We'll also be telling you about a giveaway, a free giveaway of 10 tickets to the Pearl deep dive that's coming up, starting in just 2 days. But we'll be doing that toward the end. But we'll also be giving you responses to your own Pearl sequence if you want to put those in. But to start today, Katrini is going to introduce our celebrity.
Yeah.
We have a celebrity guest who we can call in energetically.
We chose pretty not very obvious celebrity. She's not a political leader. She's not a spiritual leader. She's something else. She's an artist, and we chose her because she embodies the synthesis, which is Jinkies and Pearl is all about synthesis. It's all about synthesizing things. So we chose the artist who does it for a very long time. Laurie Anderson, who is a filmmaker, who is a musician, who is a multimedia artist, who is a contemporary artist, a singer, a performer, a dancer, beautiful woman, beautiful embodied woman. And we also chose her because we wanted to talk about someone who is artist, because we both are artists. With Momo, we both are movers, and we tend to go into this stream of synthesizing things through your body, through art. Yeah. Yeah, I guess all of you know Laurie Anderson. Give us some hearts or comments if you know who she is.
Laurie Anderson. So yeah, so Laurie is a amazing, daring, creative, groundbreaking artist who, you know, she is so diverse. She has taken all these different streams of art, from visual art to being a musician, to making films, to being a poet, to being somebody who's extremely engaged with the leading edge of media and technology. She has invented so many new things related to performing art and technology. She was the first person to basically put pickups on her body to play her body and make sort of samples on her violin. So she would be playing violin samples, you know, while she was playing her violin, like amazing edge of creativity. And we might even say in the Jinkies world that she was a mutator, you know, that she's here to really mutate all of us, like to make us a change, basically, to bring a change forward. And you'll see that. I fell even more in love with her as I was reading her profile. It's been amazing. But one thing, I'll just give a few things. She's published 6 books. She's presented in major museums all over the world. She was the first artist in residence for NASA. She actually created the whole NASA artist in residence program, and then they quit it after her because she was so radical. She was such an amazing rebel in that way. She's a composer. She's been in Carnegie Hall, BBC, National Public Radio, all over the place. Pioneer in virtual reality. A lot of her works are very immersive, and so the audience is completely integrated and included in her offerings that she does. What else? Oh, amazing stuff. Yeah, and then the ability to take all these genres and be so unusual, but draw like a great audience to herself, you know, actually find recognition for this. Yeah, like she say, Strange Angels, amazing song. You know, she's known for Big Science and working with Peter Gabriel and her husband. I just on the side, but she, you know, she's such a partnering person. She partnered with Paul Allen to create the first major technology art connection that was totally funded by Microsoft. She amazing, and then, you know, she met and married Lou Reed, which is you know, this leading edge of the New York sort of underground art scene, which has, you know, then she married that with NASA and you know, Microsoft.
And Lou Reed.
And Lou Reed, you know.
Yeah.
Go figure, you know, she's got some ability to integrate some unusual streams. Do you want to talk about her profile?
Yes, maybe we look at her profile, because that's pretty amazing to see. Okay.
So we're talking about Laurie Anderson. Just someone asked, Love Leading asked if, you know, who we're talking about. Laurie Anderson, amazing leading edge artist, multimedia artist. Oh,
Yes.
thank
So
you. I can.
I just want to say the keys of her pearl, which we want to put attention more. But what I've noticed, her activation sequence is same as Richard Roth's. So she has a 35, 5, 33, 33, 30, 64, sorry. And so it's kind of the activation sequence, same as Richard Roth's. And I find it beautiful. I find those 63, 64 amazing gifts of imagination, illumination. Her purpose is imagination, and I feel like how she's deeply grounded into her purpose sphere of the 64. But anyway, yes, that's just
Go to the
something
pearl.
popped up.
She was born the day
Similarity.
before Richard. Yeah.
She had very strong keys, 55 gene key, which is kind of an archetype of gene keys, because in the shadow it contains this victimization victim, and all shadows, we can call them also victims, the shadow frequency, and freedom, the double frequency of the 55, which is kind of, what else can we talk? It's just freedom in both gift and CD, and also 14 gene key of competence and this golden vegan of gifts and skills. This beautiful 14, very fertile key, and the 35, which is all about adventure, which is all about manifesting emotions, which is all about diving into different experiences to find boundlessness. And of course, obviously, for sure, she has a pearl of 43 gene key, which is all about epiphany and insight and this mutative individual acoustic frequency and ability to articulate and kind of share the insights. So I just
Yeah.
loved you chose her, Malo. I
Me
find it
too.
with
That
it.
we came to that. Thank you. Those, yeah, they're really powerful keys. Um, and I can just speak a little bit about the lines. It's so interesting because, Katrina and I, we both inserted the information of her birth, and we came up with some different lines, which was so cool because in my attunement, or whatever, under the time I did it, it said 35-second line and the 55-second line. So she had a life's work or a brand. She had, her brand was 35 2. Her vocation was 55 2. Her culture and pearl were the same. But for me, that just really means that she is someone who was born to be on a cusp and born to integrate more than one, frequency and level, as we all do. But she's a particularly amazing example of that. This is Laurie Anderson, for those who are just joining now. She was a contemporary multimedia artist, now in her late 70s, still full on traveling the world, doing amazing lectures with Harvard University right now online. You can check her out and find her. But anyway, so I'm just going to talk about the lines a bit, starting with that vocation, that second and third line with the 55th gene key. So she is such a catalyst for change. She's a code maker, a code breaker, and a code maker. And that is what the 55 is about, no longer being a victim of what we were born into, the outer circumstance, or even your DNA, but the ability to be so aware of what's going on in your circumstances that they don't need to be what runs you anymore, that you're no longer a victim. And so she is taking that victimization truly into being a catalyst for freedom. And with that third line, it's like all this exploration and experimentation and even humor. If you ever see her, she's so silly. Like, she says the weirdest things and does the weirdest things that would make anyone laugh. But she does it so seriously with such passion, like the second line, and with such ease. She's so what do I want to say? But she's so herself, unabashedly. Even as weird as it may be, she doesn't care, But what that does is that it brings to light the passion and recognition in others. she loves to recognize other people too. Like it's not just about her. She's really taken it beyond, you know, with that second line. And in that, that second line is all about marketing. It's about marketing and production in the vocation. So she is like a natural self-marketer. I mean, how could you sell yourself to NASA, Paul Allen, you know, Guggenheim, like all these places? She had to make them feel like they would be and like, you know, more awakened, you know, through her presence, which I believe they are. Anyway, so there's the 55, the code changer with that second and third line. So then over to the culture, that fourth line
I
in the,
would like to add
oh, go
too
ahead.
something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just love this 55 because it's where kind of mutation happens, and it's a big key. It's a, like mutative key. It's what's kind of coming, the freedom for all of us, and she brings that in her heart, this love of freedom. And I just watched her. I love her interview, which is called "Advice for Young Artists," and she just gives so simple, so exquisite advice. And she talking about, okay, be loose. Like she advised young artists to be loose, not to be pigeonholed by the systems, by the forces that want to trap you and kind of push artists in certain direction. Like, okay, this is your brand. Okay, this is the art. You're a painter. Do just the painting. And she said, no, don't be loose. Don't allow forces to kind of shape you, but instead, yeah, say that you're
It's
a
so,
multimedia artist. Just say that you're multimedia, and allow yourself uh, to play kind of this playing spirit, like this romance with the spirit of her 55 and the love of freedom. And she said, I'm an artist because I want to be free. That was one of the
and
first words in the interview, she said. And yeah, like to be free. And but same time, she was talking about sales, and she says, I'm not against money. I'm okay with money, but I'm not allowing kind of, I'm not selling anything. I'm just flexible. I'm just flexible regarding money, but I'm not like, I'm not allowing sales and money and kind of forces to put me into certain kind of container and to manipulate it. So she's really kind of had her breakthrough, and you can see this love of freedom in hers. And she and kind of her embodiment, she was saying, okay, we can go to Mars, but then I want to better understand actually the birds that are singing around me. Like it's like whatever makes you really free, do that. It's that simple, she says. She says, just makes whatever really makes you free. And that's such an exquisite recipe of actually defining what it is to be an artist. Just makes what makes you really free. Like record the birds, or I don't know, do anything.
dance your dance.
Love it.
You know, that when she stands up, you know, her spine is so strong and central, and you can feel that sense of like, okay, whatever's going on, she's going to be able to flux with that. Like that's so second and third line, to be able to have that flexible spine, that dancer way, but also that engagement of the third line where there's like that passion. I mean, the
Yeah,
variety of things. And
yeah.
yeah.
She's not allowing people to tell her what to do, and you could see that in her spine and in her love of freedom. She's like, I'm here doing things that I love, that makes me feel free. I'm not let you tell me what to do. She's like, she's very definite with her borders and with her passion. Like she's
Yeah,
like
at the
not
same
sailing her
time,
passion away.
right. At the same time, her fourth line in her culture is so embracing, you know, it's like she's able to be that network, like that, like literally a powerhouse of networking where, you know, the 14 is like often called like the powerhouse, or the one who can, like truly the 14, if you're looking for the simplicity, prosperity, like 14 is like the prosperity key. So there she is bringing people together in this simple prosperity, like you said, you know, just let's just be ourselves. offer our offerings, let those seeds, you know, the culture is about the seed that you put out into the world that is then going to be grown through your brand and your vocation and your pearl. So, you know, the way she seeds it is in this competence with networking, you know, with each other. And a lot of times this fourth line is called synthesis thinking or syn thinking, like the ability to think in a synthetic way, a synthesizing way, like as a synarchy. She's already thinking that way naturally. Yeah. So we talked about the culture. That's the place. Do you want to say a little bit more about
I
the
will just say one
Pearl?
thing. I've
Okay.
also noticed and like how she's integrated into her network. She's like, when she does performance, she's a storyteller as well. So when she does performance, she tells stories about stories. So in her stories, she always includes people, and like she's strengthening the network. Like this is a key word or key phrase for the fourth line in the culture. Like, do I strengthen my network, like, or I'm actually taking the power of the network, or I'm not in my network? So there is a strength that I could feel while she's presenting things, because you could feel that she's not just a lone artist, though she performs alone, but you could feel that she's connected, and she's not an island. She has this friendliness, like the sisterhood, brotherhood keyword for the fourth line. You could sense that in the way she performs, because she includes techniques, she includes different styles, but also she includes people, and that's kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what's
For
like,
you know, like we all feel included when we go there, because it's like it ends up being about everybody, not just her. She almost disappears sometimes. Oh, sometimes she's very strong there, and then other times it kind of like becomes the work, you know.
mm,
So I'm going to move on just to
yes,
so we have time to read some of your things. We're going to be doing some Q&A and some reading of the people that are watching now. I love that there's 44 people at this moment.
yeah.
With 44th gene key is in our transit, and that being all about teamwork and synarchy. We're doing a reading of the Laurie Anderson. Yeah. And so her son, her out there voice, you know, it's the voice in the pearl, and also the brand is that of the 35.2. So the second line or the third line, whichever you're reading, both of them, that second line is very much about style and passion and image, and it could even be sexy and kind of dramatic. And it's also all about, you know, a sort of sexy dramatic voice. And if you've ever heard Laurie Anderson speaking, it's like her voice is so provocative, it's so I don't know, alluring. At least you know, it's very deep and gentle and musky and like that sort of way of presenting herself. I'm sure it's not thought of at all. It's just her natural way, you know, and that's the second and third line are that way. And she's also that second line with the adventure of the 35th gene key. They're about like the third line with the adventure of the 35th gene key is about trying many tastes, many styles, many things, you know, many even mistakes in life. You know, having a real courage to just break the bounds and explore and experiment. You know, the 35th gene key is boundlessness, is its ultimate expression. And I think, you know, I feel that she knows no bounds. She knows that because she knows how to disappear into the all as well. You know, not only pull out those different things, but then just open into that, you know, vast space that is beyond all the particulars.
I love that, Mama. I love the 35 again, like preparing for the reading and getting to know her. I watched this performance, The Speed of the Darkness of Speed, or the speed of darkness. Yeah, the speed of darkness. And she's joking a lot about food, which is this external thing. Like she has a lot joking about the food consumption and the way like she's playing and with different context and kind of shifting them. Or she talks about computers, and that though she's a very technical person, she jokes that okay, now she has a computer, but she has to renew and update all the time. And where is her time if computers supposed to give us time, but they actually take away our time because we have to update them all the time and we have to move together with them. So she's a technical, but she's joking about that. And I feel that's her gift of the 35 Jinki of this adventure, and that she's realizing that nothing external gives fulfillment actually. So that's why she's so playful with it, because she realizes it's not her fulfillment, and that it's actually inside. Like the adventure is inside, adventure is in the pausing, adventure is like going deep, and you could feel that. That's why she's like so free, and she's so yeah, playful with things. And I like the third line. If we think that she has a third line, the keynote for the third line is changer. And this is, I feel, what is her real change. She says, okay, we can play, we can be free with the external, but this happens only if you're free internally, only if you find adventure within, because this is where all the gold is. And when she speaks that, she speaks from her culture, 14 Jinki, from her competence. You could feel that in her belly, this competence. Like she really figures that out. She really figured out her secrets of her code, of her algorithm of prosperity. She realized that she is the product, she is the performance, she is, and like she is the one who finds adventure within and the freedom within, and that's what she shares. Actually, she's not sharing the external stimulation. She shares that she can do anything because she's free inside, because she has this core inside. And that's what's so, yeah, feeling good when I just watch her. That's what feels good for me about her performance.
It's natural how she has her her vocation, her culture, her spine, her belly, and then it comes out her voice, and that balance, which is what the pearl is about, finding that place of all those things kind of breathing together. Her pearl naturally opens, and it's like you said earlier, it's impossible not to see that 43.2, which is about recognition for your amazing epiphanies and insights and ability to be so unique and shake up the system and be this like total rebel of mutation and revolutionary of I don't know, like a mad artist scientist of life and art and creation. And I really feel her joy in it. Like, and her, I mean, the second line in that place of harvest is about, really harvesting the recognition. But for her, like we've been saying, that recognition is not only about her, it's about the recognition of the amazingness of the whole. It's like we get to see like how all these different parts, through her expression of that insight and that revolutionary epiphany, that balance, all of it comes out naturally. And yeah, it's also Scorpio.
And it is
We're coming up
Scorpio.
on it. I said it because we're actually, the 43 and the 14 are coming up as transits really soon, like in the next month or so. We're in this time of year, and so that's sort of really in her world, this veil between the worlds, this kind of darker side, and that comes out in this amazing brilliance.
Yeah, for me, Scorpio on this dark side, it's all about transformation through kind of dying into old, into your identities, and figuring out something else, like something on the other side, so which transforms you. And we are entering now with our transits in this month of transformation. That's what Scorpio and Pluto basically is about. But yeah, I like second line, because it's about passion, it's about recognition, as you said, but it's also about like feeling what makes a difference in the world. And like she kind of feels, she really taps with her insights what will make a difference. So she has this insights instantaneous, that's something that comes to her while she's interviewing or while she's performing. And she's usually performing with this flow of speech, which is 43 is all about. It's like you kind of share your insights in a moment, like a pulse, like something like a thunder that comes, and she goes with it. She's really kind of relaxed with this flow of her own insights. And second line is like how this insight that comes to her make a difference to the world. And this difference which she sees and what she recognizes, it comes through this like partnering, marrying. Second line is about partnership, about marriage with the force, marriage with the change itself. Like the difference in the world comes with the or through recognition. So she's really has this sharp eye and sharp mind. She really recognizes what needs to be kind of implemented now to bring this change. And she does it with this passion. So it's really kind of, she heard her call. Second line is all about like hearing the call, and I think she heard her call as an artist, as a human being, and yeah, she shares her passion. Nothing can stop that.
It's natural. Yeah, so we're about to transition into your pearls and your questions. We're coming to the halfway mark, or a little more. We have a few more minutes to go with that, and then also share with you about how wonderful listeners. It says her performance is about joy. Yeah, Paul, perfect. Yes, it definitely is. That we were talking about Laurie Anderson as our yeah, thanks. So now is the time when you can chat in the chat or in the comments and ask anything. You can ask anything about your pearl, if you want to give your sphere and your gene key and your line, or you could ask about anything about the pearl sequence or about the deep dive that's coming up. It's starting in a few days with Richard Rudd and Elijah and Tamayo, and all of us. The ambassadors will all be there too. And yeah, so I'm Maureen Momo Freehill, and this is Katini Matisse, who are both ambassadors, and we are working with readings for you here and now live. And feel free to give us any. Oh yeah. Feel free to give us any. Okay, here's a question. Any thoughts on this? Ooh. Insights on your pearl. Okay, I saw that one. There we go. Would love insights on 32.5 pearl. Okay, great. Yeah, just for your readings, these are just brief ones, but we have an assistant who's going to gather all the questions and then start to feed them wonderfully to us so we can respond with one from Antonia Hamburg. Oh, there you go. I can see you. No more screen sharing.
I'd love to talk about 32nd. I have it in my evolution. So it's about failure, preservation, and veneration. And I love to contemplate the 32nd gene key through where it stands in between. It's between 31st gene key and 33rd gene key. So it's about this leadership and about remembrance, and preservation is between finding leadership as oneself and remembrance of who you really are. And then there is this ability to see what needs to be preserved. And veneration for me is all about kind of bowing to the whole. It's about realizing that the whole it's about being humbled by the whole. It's like when you're humbled by the whole, you start to bow, and you see like this feeling in the heart of veneration, of adoration. I like how veneration and adoration, it's kind of the same feeling. And adoration is also about adoring the master, the teacher, life as your master, life as your teacher. And when you find that life or the whole and your own service to the whole is kind of bigger than you, suddenly you're kind of humbled by that. And there is this continuity that you start to feel, because it brings embodiment and it brings remembrance and it brings epiphany. So for me, 30-second is kind of, I tap into you through realizing in between what keys it's standing. So it's between this leadership and about humility and about epiphany. Veneration is something between epiphany and this true leadership, which is all about humbleness, about being humble leader, and that remembers itself, brings this ability to preserve and the power to preserve, and ability to go with the cycle. The programming partner of the 30-second Jinki is 40-second Jinki is all about cycle, all about celebration, all about detachment as ability to attach to oneself and just go with your path that needs to be kind of preserved through your own going with this path.
I could say something about the line, your fifth line, and also we have lots of questions coming in, which are great, and I'm committed to actually not necessarily, to get to as many as we can here live, but I will come back to this and comment underneath them with text later to respond to your questions. So feel free to put them there, and even if we don't get it to it live, we'll be happy to answer them in text. Okay, so the fifth line in your pearl, the fifth line, I have a lot of fifth lines in my chart. It's about power and projection. So if you have a fifth line there, it's really about like the capacity to venerate or to venerate all things, like to have this powerful ability to venerate or to bow to all things, really, like to your ancestors and to the ones that will come after you. And it's the capacity, the possibility in a shadow context is that you could be projected upon, or you could feel guilty about that power or that voice that you have that's so strong and that can actually move society and people, with your voice. And it can sometimes feel scary to be out there on the front lines like that. And the capacity for a fifth line to listen and be vulnerable as well as be a speaker is really important. And so in that bowing, it's like, okay, even though I'm very, very strong and there's a lot of power, I too am a humble human being, in this lineage, and I too will pass and pass on. Yeah, and honoring that. Okay, shall we take another one? Thank you, Anthony.
I want to say about fifth line, and everyone has a fifth line in her or his pearl. It's about power. So it's about, and with power comes responsibility and also courage. So it's kind of Robin Hood. All fifth line are like Robin Hood. So they're ultimate agents of compassion in action. So fifth line is a quintessence of the hexagram. So there is a lot of experience already you've been born with, kind of, and there is a lot of impact. And this impact comes on the society level. So it's a big pearl, and it's also placed in the position of power. So where there's power, there's also lots of money. But it's like how, what you do with this responsibility is like how you serve the whole. And this is a grail question. This is a question of the pearl. Like, what is my greatest service to the whole? And for the fifth line, through its power, it's about, how I impact and allow others to be empowered as well. And fifth line has this dichotomy. It's like very powerful, but it's also, it needs to speak less and see more. It needs to kind of be on the spotlight, but also be hidden with the lightest touch. It can kind of change the flows. So it's a power and realizing your power, but also kind of being this compassionate leader behind your own action, which is more about like practicality and more about like investing money and kind of see how it flows, like empowering others through your own power, so it kind of recycles.
Okay.
We
Thank
have
you. Should we
other
move on?
lines.
There's many other questions, so I want to let's see if
Yes.
we can. There's someone named Oscar Banaski, I think. They are asking about their vocation 18.3. Do you see that one, Katrini?
No, I see the questions from other people. But
Okay, well, which would you like to do? Answer the question in the chat, or the ones that we have?
you can continue with Oscar if you want.
Okay, great. Well, Oscar has, and maybe you note this down so you know. Yeah. Yeah, we broke the website with all these Pearl reading, I mean Pearl registrations. People are registering. So Oscar has the vocation 18.3, the culture 14.3, so the 14 in common with Laurie Anderson, the brand 26.4, and the Pearl 5.4. So 2 3 lines and 2 4 lines is Oscar. Yeah, so in that vocation of the 18, which is, you know, every gene key is powerful, but that one is really a connection with goodness. I don't know, the integrity is the gift, and the shadow is judgment. So when you're facing that as a core wound, it may be that you're feeling with this third line a sense of shame and judgment that is your wound. And when we can work through our own personal shame and our own ancestral lineage of shame and judgment, and be able to come out with this sense of integrity in ourselves, and even a lightness of being, or a forgiveness in that sort of almost humorous, playful way about what it is to just be a human, an experimenting human. Yeah, then we are able to feel this sense of how everything is perfect, all is imperfection. And so as a vocation with that that third line, you are here to be a producer of these, I don't know, implementer, an implementer, a producer of this kind of integrity. So your work would probably, you know, the thing that you'd be most interested in doing might be something in the area of integrity, but keeping everyone smiling. You know, not being too heavy or serious about it, or you know, that sort of thing. So finding a path of producing things that have integrity with joy, integrity with pleasure, integrity with a sense of, you know, deliciousness, the warm-hearted, you know, happiness. That you want to just talk about the vocation a little bit, Katrina?
Yeah, I love the third line, like how shame could be healed through laughter, and how, like you said, like keep everyone like smile. Like this 18 jinky tends to be too harsh with its correcting things, but when it just orients itself in a flow, it becomes a different story. And also I love how this 3 keys, integrity, 26 artfulness, and 14 competence, like they form this pause of the 5th pearl, like this big, like integrity, competence, artfulness. It's all about kind of serving invisibly out of your own competence, out of your own feeling of your own direction. And there is a lot of playfulness of the third line, but also very kind of one track, direct, influencing brand and mind, artful mind, influencing mind of the fourth line, serving mind. And all of that creates a quantum. And I love that the quantum is the 5th jinky, which is about pausing, about timelessness, about kind of coming into this quantum pause, into timeless dimension, which pearl in itself is a timeless dimension. It's like beyond your profile, beyond your hologenetic story. It kind of shines through it. And yeah, it's all about taking a pause, and also everything that you do brings you back into the pause, and the pause is what you enjoy the best. Like, so you're in a hurry, or you're out of your rhythm, out of your logic, out of your patterns, or you're one with your inner logic, you're one with this pause that is deeper than just being patient about something. It's not about external patient towards people, being externally patient, like to whatever is happening. It's a real pause. It's like, boo, it's dropping into the form. It's like the pause that's timeless. So there is a lot of contemplation on what is patience really, because I mean the whole golden path is about being patient with oneself and being gentle with oneself. So I just love this combination. And would you like to add on the fourth line of, or on any
Sure,
jinky?
yeah. It's in the pearl, it's often considered to be about charity. So basically the capacity, once you've really found that balance in your life, to be able to give, and the joy of giving, the joy of that kind of charity, you know, charity in the sense of like giving for the sake of the joy of seeing other people in your network, in your world, prospering as well as you. And that's like the ultimate thing. And so in this case, with the fifth gene key, that your prosperity would be giving this sense of timelessness, you know, to people, that they actually are able to receive this sense that like, I don't have to hurry, I don't have to worry about like that my time is running out, or that, you know, we're gonna die or whatever, that I can, you know, my presence right here will be an offering of timelessness to all my community. So we are actually coming toward the close, like toward the close of our call currently. And we are really happy to have all of you that have joined us and all these questions. And as I said, Katrini and I, you can find us both on the website under ambassadors. I'm, you know, here I'm Momo Dance Waves. I do dancewaves.us. And Katrini, you can share where you're also available. We can do readings as well as this, but the main thing I want to say is that after this, we'll go through and we'll respond with comments in all your questions with a little bit of insight about what you asked, just because it's so special that you've been with us here today. And we also want to give away, Gene Keys is giving away 10 free passes to the deep dive, which is coming up starting tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, on the 2nd, or is it the 2nd? No, the 1st is the last day. Registration closes on the 1st. So, and right, and currently the website is down. We're working on it, so be patient as we were talking. Richard Rudd's own pearl is, I mean, not pearl, purpose is the 5th gene key. So he knows a lot about patience and has shared so much with us about the power of the pause. Anyway, so at in 2 hours or so, no, in 1 hour from now, I believe it's at 1900 UTC. Richard's going to be live on YouTube.
Yeah, it's announced in the Instagram.
Yeah, there it is.
You can check out the time.
And the 10 free gifts will be announced there. But before that, you can sign up. And if you can't sign up, I bet, I mean, I'm going to go to my edge and say this, but if you send in your email to support@genekeys.com, since you can't put it through the website right now, you might be able to ask to be included in that drawing. I don't know, but I know it's kind of sad that that's down now. So many people probably want to.
There is, yeah, it's also like someone asked for the links, like you can go to the jinkies.com and the pearl gonna be there in the shop or in the courses, because it's everywhere on the website. So the moment the website works, you just tap in and you go into the deep dive. And yeah. And also, I would be so glad to continue with all of you. Like, I just felt doing it for 1 hour more, all the readings.
I know it feels like there's no time and no energy problem because all of you are have bringing so much presence and energy. It's just wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you,
Thank you.
Katrini. You're so wise in your ability to listen and share your insights about this. I'm looking forward to looking at your pearl and
Yes.
seeing. I think that, Katrina, are you going to be also hosting some of the community calls? I will be.
Yeah, I think we are together hosting. I'm tech hosting and coordinating, and also I'm a primary host for some of community calls. Maybe we are together somewhere in the space, but we for sure will meet you somewhere in the forums on the
Yeah, I hope
website
so.
of the
This is so
GT.
fun. We should just do our own sometime, just like make our own little live things. It's my first time ever on Instagram
For me
this week.
too.
And my first so yeah, so as far as the Richard gift, it looks like people are asking about that. The way to get that is to sign up for the Pearl newsletter online on the Gene Keys website. However, the Gene Keys website is down. So I was saying that the possibility is you could probably, send, I don't know if this is possible. We'll see. Um, uh, yeah, it might be too late. I don't know. Just keep trying.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
keep trying. Yeah, yeah. So Katrina was going to bring us to a close with a dedication. I would like to. I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear the bell? I
Yeah,
have.
I love it.
I have this bell that I love to ring when we gather, and basically the sense is that all the energy that we've shared, all the insights and the love and the life and the creativity that we've shared gets to be dedicated and offered to the benefit of all, because that is what the pearl is all about. What is the greatest service that we can offer in this one precious life. And so right here, right now is what it's all about. Let's offer it up inside and out to all those places and beings that are really could use this prosperity, this simple prosperity, this space of balance and equanimity. And then Katrini, after the bell,
Mm,
is going to close us with a beautiful attunement. Thank you so much.
thank you. Mm. Please, all of the 43 people, stay with us for the closing attunement. And I invite you to make 3 deep breaths all together in your own tempo. Maybe using the voice, breathing in, breathing out. And feeling into your spine, into your belly, into your inner voice, how the 3 spaces exist together in the softness and gentleness of your being. And I invite you to feel into your pearl as a quantum and all the other spheres as this whirlpool of initiative, growth, and service, this endless whirlpool of taking initiative from your heart, growing with your community, and serving the whole. This is continuous whirlpool of the pearl, which allows it to happen, allows you to happen, allows you to prosper. And prosperity is feeling, being happy. And this whirlwind takes your thoughts and your attention deeper and deeper into your belly, through the membrane of your physical body, into your core. And allow your intuition to find the center of your being, the center behind your navel as an umbilical cord that connects you to the whole. And take one small breath through your core, through the point of light in your belly. And this is your pearl. Remember this quantum of yours deep inside your belly. Thank you. Let's see each other play together in the prosperity playground, this deep dive.
Blessings. Goodbye.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. I'm not sure how to close, but thanks, Katrini, for closing. I think we need to close because it has to be within 1 hour or we can't record it.
Yeah, we were
Something.
recording.
Blessings. Thank you, everyone.